Welcome back to LA Shaolin Studios Basic Kung Fu Techniques. All right, today we're going to continue with Lohan short forms. All right, we're going to see number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay, if you remember from our previous lesson, we worked on some basic punching and kicking techniques, some basic blocking techniques, and some basic stance works. Okay, Lohan short forms, Grandmaster developed these for that precise reason, so that you could jump into basic Kung Fu training without having to do a series of movements that was complex, like a longer monkey or mantis. Some of the more exciting forms that we have are really hard to digest if you don't have some of the basics. So Lohan short forms are Grandmaster's way of introducing us to some basic Shaolin Kung Fu techniques without making our brains kind of explode. All right, so here we go. If you missed numbers 1 and 2, you can always see it at LA Shaolin Studios on YouTube. Okay, so here we go. The stances we've seen so far in our Lohan short forms. Okay, first, our natural stance. My feet are about 1 foot to 1.5 foot distance apart, and they're parallel with one another. My knees are bent, my back is up straight, my head and chin lifted as if suspended by a thread. Nice and relaxed, natural. Okay, the second stance is my bow stance. A convenient way to step from my natural stance to my bow stance is to do a forearm block like we've seen before, and then a horizontal punch as I step out. Notice my blocking arm pulls to my waist as my rear hand punches out, again focusing on these two knuckles. Okay? In your bow stance, make sure your front leg is as close to flat on top as you can get. Your knee is not extending past your toes. Back is up straight, pushing firmly into your heels, and your hips are relaxed, elbow bent, shoulder dropped. Okay? To turn in my bow stance, I'm going to look over my shoulder, elbow back, back fist, turn my hips, and pull punch. Make sure you're in a good bow stance, relax and press down into your feet. And let's turn again. Elbow, back fist, pull punch. To draw back up to my natural stance, I'm just going to lift from my center, straight back up over my foot. So we've seen a bunch of basic techniques. Let's review those, and we'll look at some of the new ones that we're going to see as well. Okay, when we go to step out, we do our basic forearm blocks. Again, I like to mention that most of Grandmaster's material starts with a block or a deflection instead of an attack, right? So one of the first things we learn is a forearm block. We step out and we block with our forearm, right? Blocking to the outside, okay? Right after we step out, we do one of our basic punches, right? We block and we step out with a horizontal punch, okay? Focusing with these lead knuckles, keeping our elbow bent and our shoulder dropped, okay? After we do that, we do a block down, right? So a really basic, just turning over my hands and again, trying to hit with these lead knuckles, right? And hitting straight down, okay? Then the next thing I see is a block up, right? Using my forearm to block across my face, okay? Again, that's followed with a horizontal punch and a block down, all right? Now for number 3, we see something a little bit new. We do that same forearm block up, but now we do a spear hand or a knife hand in, okay? Extending our fingers in a more serious fashion towards someone's eyes, throat, or maybe their nose, right? Remember, don't hyperextend your hand, keep your hand curled so that your hands will curl into a punch if you hit your fingers, okay? Again, that's a forearm block like we've seen, and a spear or a knife hand in, okay? In number 4, we see the new technique of a monkey grab, all right? We block, forearm block across, and then keeping our thumb tucked up like a monkey without an opposable thumb, we grab for the wrist, okay? Let's look at those new techniques in the short forms themselves. Okay, let's take a look at Grandmaster's Lohan short forms number 3, 4, and 5, paying special attention to the hand techniques that we just looked at, okay? We're gonna start from our natural stance and back. Forearm block, step out, horizontal punch. Forearm block past your face, knife hand. Keeping this hand relaxed, elbow bent, shoulder dropped, right? Then I'm gonna close my hand and block up, horizontal punch. Block, twist hit kick, and step it down. Good. Number 4, I forearm block across, reach with my monkey hand and grab the wrist I just blocked. Pivot on my front foot, reach across and grab the shoulder or the neck of the person that just tried to punch me, and sweep. Set back down into your bow stance, okay? We run out of room this way, let's turn, elbow, back fist, full punch, and double jump kick. Good, snapping your kick out, jumping as high as you can. All right, let's look at some of the foot techniques that we've seen in our Lohan short forms, particularly our snap kicks, okay? Number 5, we see our double front snap kick and there's a jump in there. It looks a little intimidating, but you can build your way just by knowing our basic front snap techniques, okay? So remember what we've already seen. When I do my snap kick, always in our short forms, we're using our rear leg first, right? I can start by shifting my weight forward and raising my knee. Try to get your knee up as high as you can because that'll give you a greater distance, right? Then kicking with the ball of my foot, snap it out. Again, I'm trying to extend my foot and pull my toes back, snapping it out just like that, okay? The faster you snap it back, the more power you have, and it'll help you keep your balance, okay? Whenever kicking, try to focus on the leg that you're standing on if you can. It'll help with your rooting, help with your balance, and help with that power, okay? Give that leg a rest. Again, lift your knee, snap it out, bring it back. If you can keep your hands up in a guard position, that's always a good thing to practice too, right? Front snap kick, just like that, okay? Now our double front snap kick, we'll just practice doing 2 snap kicks in a row. So even just here in our natural stance, right? Put your hands up if you like. I'm gonna shift and kick 1, 2, just like that, right? Shift your weight, raise your knee up, kick it out, put it down, raise your other knee, kick it out, all right? Just like that. So kicking out, 1, 2, right? If you wanna get crazy, you can switch your hands and start with your other leg. 1, 2, okay? Now, adding a jump to that is a matter of maybe thinking about it as 2 separate kicks and thinking about raising your knees first, all right? So I'm gonna raise my knee and kick, and then just hop to my other foot and kick, okay? And I can use that knee coming up to kind of drive me up, so I can jump and kick, right? You can take one of the kicks out at first to kind of help you start, but that's kind of how we're gonna break down and practice our double jump kicks. Okay, let's take a look at these short forms, paying close attention to the kicking techniques that we've seen. Start with our bow, step out to our bow stance, block, horizontal punch. Number 3, block knife hand, block punch. Now my kick, I'm gonna block and kicking with that rear leg, lifting my knee, snapping it out, twisting kick, okay? Coming down. Number 4, block inside, monkey grab, sweep. All right, we'll turn for number 5, elbow, back fist, punch, and double kicking. Notice I'm gonna raise my rear knee first as high as I can, and then kick out with my front leg. Okay, now let's talk about some of my favorite things in Grandmaster Shaolin are sweeping. All right, we see some sweeps in number 4 already. They're right here in the beginning material because sweeping is a really effective way to use your rooting and your training to neutralize somebody without having to do a lot of hurting, okay? So when we sweep, the most important thing is that we keep our technique on the ground, like we're sweeping, right? A sweep has to keep my foot on the ground, so you have to be close and you have to be low. Okay, let's take a look at our sweep in number 4 Lohan short. We bow, step out, block punch. Number 3, block knife hand, block punch, block twisted kick. Number 4, block inside, monkey grab, control the wrist, reach across, grab the shoulder, and let your hips swing through and sweep. Notice my arm countering my leg so I keep my balance, and then set your foot down, all right? I'm out of room or I'm being attacked from behind, so I turn, elbow back to punch, and then double jump kick. All right, so that's Lohan short forms 3, 4, and 5. All right, we saw some basic stances that we reviewed, our natural stance and our bow stance. We saw some basic punching and blocking that we reviewed, right? Horizontal punching, forearm blocking, right? We saw our basic kick, our front snap kick, right? We got some new techniques in there too, right? Our knife hand, which was great. Our double front jump kick, right? Which was a nice challenge. And then of course, one of my favorites, our first front sweep, okay? So go ahead and look for our next set of Lohan short forms. It'll probably be 6, 7, 8, maybe 9, we'll see. Okay, see you next time.